one thing I'd like to point out in this video is you're not too late, right? So I'm at this event. It's $7,000 a ticket. There's 2,000 people here. And, I'm talking to a lot of attendees. And the thing I realized is all these attendees, very few of them own Bitcoin. And very few of them are even remotely interested in Bitcoin. And they've obviously heard of it, they've watched it, but they're just not convinced. And the big emotion is, I'm too late.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. Krueger Said Bitcoin has gone from 10 cents to 70,000 over the last 15 years, along the way at $100, $1,000, $10,000, and today at $60,000 smart people think they can't buy because they are too late. He answers the question, are we too late to buy Bitcoin?
These guys are generally pride themselves on being early to these trends, and they got in early. They got in at the Series A. They got in before, the IPO. They started a company. They're early stage investors and early stage participants. And for them to sit there and say, you know what, I missed the first 15 years of Bitcoin, and I'm going to get involved now, is a little difficult for them. It's a difficult psychological perception. And I heard, one of them says to me, listen, yeah, sure, Bitcoin's done well over the last 15 years, but, is it going to do well over the next 15 years? And, I've been trying to explain to them why I think it will, and the power law and adoption and why Bitcoin's different. But you can tell that they don't really get it, and they don't really believe it. So all I will say is I think that there's this sort of fractal pattern, this of Bitcoin, where at 2013 it looked expensive when it hit $1,000, and then in 2017 when it hit $10,000, it looked very expensive, and now here at $56,000 it looks very expensive. So it always looked, and I think it'll look expensive when it hit $500,000, which I think it will. So, there's this general feeling that, I missed it, I'm stupid, I can't invest now, among these people. I don't think it's the same feeling among sort of stock market investors who just invest in a bunch of stuff and, okay, I'll buy some Bitcoin. That's different than this crew of people who should be involved and who should do the work and who should spend the time. They're not spending the time. So that's my post for today. I think it's really interesting. I don't think these people are going to participate. If I had to guess, I think they're going to miss out all the way on the next 10x. I just don't see them really flipping the switch.
MicroStrategy, a publicly traded business intelligence and software company, has announced that it acquired approximately 18,300 Bitcoin between August 6 and September 12. The company's Form 8K to the United States Securities and Exchange Commission states that the purchase, worth $1.11 billion, was made at an average price of $60,408 per Bitcoin, including expenses and fees. The firm, led by CEO Michael Saylor, has continued to expand its holdings of BTC over the past 4 years after making its first purchase on August 11, 2020. The company's recent acquisition increased its BTC holdings to approximately 244,800 BTC, currently worth around $14.14 billion. The average purchase price for MicroStrategy's BTC purchases since August 2020 is $38,585 per BTC, with a cumulative investment of around $9.45 billion. MicroStrategy's aggressive approach has sparked both debate and praise from financial analysts over the years, but the firm has not slowed its acquisition of BTC. The funds used to purchase this latest 18,300 BTC were raised through selling its company shares, enabled through a sales agreement with several financial institutions on August 1. According to the SEC filing, MicroStrategy had raised approximately $1.11 billion by September 12 from selling an aggregate of 8,048,449 shares under the sales agreement. The capital raised from the sale of these over 8 million shares was directly allocated to expanding the firm's BTC holdings and increasing the size of its portfolio. On August 10, MicroStrategy held 226,500 BTC, worth $13.77 billion, in reserves, acquired at an average price of $37,000 per BTC. At the time, BTC's price was approximately $60,500, and MicroStrategy had $5.39 billion in unrealized profits. Since August 2020, it has effectively outperformed the S&P 500 index. The value of MicroStrategy's stock rose by around 1,000% since August 2020, equating to over 16.25x the returns of the SPX over the same period.
Marty always said, don't fight the Fed. And I think you cannot underestimate how important this next cycle is going to be. We are at 5 3/8 right now in interest rates, and we are going to have somewhere between a 25 and a 50 basis point rate cut next Wednesday. And we're going to be having some discussion as to the future path of interest rates. But I think the most important thing is if you look at where Fed fund futures are trading, and I was just opened that up today, and I was just, oh my God. Interest rates are 5 3/8. The futures on interest rates in December of 2025 are at 97.19, which says that the interest rate that people are betting on, the prediction market for interest rates, is effectively 280. 280. So the market's telling us we're going from 5.5% interest rates to something below 3% in a year. That is a massive, massive move, okay? And when you have $4 trillion in money market funds, they're just sitting there. When you have $200 trillion worth of bonds out there, and you lower interest rates from 5 3/8 to below 3%, which is what is going to happen, you're going to have a flight to risk assets. What does that mean? That means equities go up. That means real estate goes up, okay? That means bonds go up, and that means Bitcoin goes up. And it also means gold goes up. And we're starting to see that gold today, for the first time ever, trading above $2,600 per ounce. And that really should tell you, because there's no Mt. Gox of gold. There's no Germany selling their gold reserves. In fact, it's the exact opposite. China's buying tons of gold. And I think this is going to happen to Bitcoin, but even more, right? So we are in a potentially absolutely explosive scenario for 2025, really starting after this election, but for the next 12 months could be just absolutely explosive on the upside for Bitcoin. I definitely think something like 200,000 is definitely in the cards for end of 2025. We could be at something like 3 to 4 times higher than where we are now. I think it's going to be an absolutely amazing risk return. I would not play it with too much leverage. If you want to have any leverage at all, I prefer no leverage. I always prefer no leverage. But I think you should be heavily allocated to Bitcoin. I think it's going to do extremely well.
Analyzing one-day timeframes, popular trader and analyst Rect Capital noted an encouraging bounce from the lower boundary of a descending BTC price channel. Great reaction so far, setting BTC up for a daily close above the channel bottom. Black. He commented alongside an explanatory chart on X. Daily closes above the channel bottom have enabled upside in the past. For a bullish weekly close, BTC would need to stay above $58,150 until the end of the weekend. Bitcoin thus shook off uncertainty, which accompanied U.S. inflation data. The latest estimates from CME Group's FedWatch tool maintained confident market projections of a 0.25% rate cut on September 18 versus a larger 0.5% on September 18, which nonetheless decreased compared to earlier in the week. The S&P 500, as an example of the positive risk asset mood, had added nearly $2 trillion in value over the past week alone, trading resource the Kobayashi letter observed. NVDA, is up over 15% this week, and the S&P 500 is just 1% away from a new all-time high. It reported to ex-followers. Is this the most resilient market of all time? And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Seller. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.